You missed some important news from the LGBTQ plus community this week. To ensure you are current, we are recapping that important news. Here's what you may have missed. Donald Trump is going to be arrested this week and asked for another January 6th attack on America.
Well, y'all, Trump has channeled that one trashy cousin we all got and made an all-cap social media post talking about, they're going to take me to jail and it's a bunch of bull crap. I was a little surprised. I'm not going to lie. I never thought I'd see the day. I didn't. I mean, a rich, powerful white guy facing consequences for his actions, that ain't a thing here. This is America. But Trump treats crimes like Pokemons, and I guess at a certain point, even a system designed to protect people like him felt like it had to do something. Sort of like if you're a defensive end, a veteran defensive end in the NFL going against a flashy young quarterback, the refs will probably let you get some shots in on him, all right? They'll let you get away with some stuff. It's sort of an unspoken agreement. But if you spear him in the face, twist his ankle, and then start teabagging his unconscious body, you're probably going to get flagged for that. Right, which I feel like the equivalent of what happened to Trump here. But look, I'm still a little skeptical. Like, I don't know if we'll ever see him in jail or anything, although that would be hilarious. He's in there bragging about all the prison deals he's made, just talking about trading 2 ramen for 4 cigarettes like it's the Louisiana Purchase. It would be great, but I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. As opposed to Trump, who seems to prefer the piss and moan approach. In his social media post, he implored his mayonnaise legions to flood the streets in protest and, quote, take back our nation. Well, you'll excuse me for not quaking in my boots. I'm sorry, but in my opinion, the only thing these people are going to be taking back anytime soon is any fitness-related Christmas presents they got this year. Right? Not that worried. I think that Trump both vastly overestimates the number of people who would start a war for him and vastly underestimates the percentage of those people who are permanently attached to oxygen tanks. All right? I'm not really all that scared. It does tell you everything you need to know about Trump, though, right? Ever the petulant toddler, throwing a rage-fueled tantrum over the horrific injustice of having to abide by the same rule book that the rest of us adults live by every single day. As far as I'm concerned, it couldn't be happening to a better guy. But not everybody agrees. Marjorie Taylor Greene and the rest of the dumbass delegation are up in arms. She said, I hope you know, if you arrest him, he's going to be more popular than ever, which I feel like is not the flex she thinks it is. She's basically saying, oh yeah, well the only thing the Republican Party's base loves more than a narcissistic sexual assaulter is one with a criminal record. So what now? There's a great irony in these people talking about taking the country back, considering that's exactly what we did in 2020, right? The difference being we did so with democracy and the will of the actual people, and they're trying to do it with zip ties and a million mediocre mouth breathers. It's not the same thing, right? Because this isn't their country anymore. Right? They haven't won a popular vote in 2 decades, okay? They wouldn't be taking anything back. They'd just be stealing it, which I guess isn't surprising coming from the cult of the most prolific criminal the White House has ever seen. Party of law and order, my ass. Love y'all.
Well, that is comedian Trey Crowder, and he's kind of an unofficial reporter here at Queer News Tonight. He just was here at Sunshine Cathedral, and we thought instead of being MSNBC and giving you a report, we thought we would hear from a comedian about Donald Trump. Because former President Trump said in Truth Social post on Saturday morning he believes he will be arrested on Tuesday amid a Manhattan district attorney's investigation into hush money and payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. If this happens, Trump would be the first sitting or former president in U.S. history to face criminal charges. In a separate post on Saturday morning, Trump said, America is now the third world and dying, and American patriots are being arrested and held in captivity like animals, while also being critical of crime, inflation, prisons, and mental institutions. The district attorney's office has invited Trump to testify before the grand jury as part of the investigation. Trump's lawyer, Joseph Tacopina, told CNBC that the former president will surrender to face criminal charges should he be indicted. Trump, who has 24-hour protection from the Secret Service, is currently living at his Mar-a-Lago estate here in Palm Beach. A grand jury in Manhattan could indict Trump for his alleged role in the hush money paid to Stormy Daniels before the 2016 presidential election. Daniels claims she had an affair with the former president, which Trump has denied. The grand jury in Manhattan has the power to turn the 2024 campaign on its head by indicting Trump. But there's no precedent for what is about to happen, leaving the United States political system in uncharted waters. If this wasn't a joke, it would be a joke, but it's not a joke. He gets out ahead of the district attorney and the probably, I guess, he knows, eventual indictment that is coming. In kind of breaking news, as we do this report this evening, this afternoon, Florida Governor DeSantis weighs in and says, and admonishes that Florida will do nothing to help this unwarranted attack, as he calls it, of the former president of the United States. So DeSantis certainly still setting himself in terms of the political straits that he is preparing for national audiences and the base in Iowa, in Arizona, in Nebraska, and other places. So it's an involving tale. Stay tuned.
And then DeSantis and like Pence, and so many of them are trying to walk that fine line between being very supportive of the former president and yet trying to not take a side in a way. It's a very odd thing that's going on there with the other people, the Pence and DeSantis.
So I think, if it happens tomorrow, March 21st will become a national holiday, right? To finally see Donald arrested.
It's the spring
right?
equinox.
Finally, yeah. So it's like a big day to celebrate. I'm sort of, aghast by the fact that it's the hush money that he's being arrested for, not the criminal lines of sedition, right?
Yeah, but look at Al Capone and it's similar situation,
right. So it's not the sedition, it's not in fact, he's trying to incite violence again, that if he's arrested tomorrow, he's calling for people to protest in the same manner. And so this is a man whose MO is instability, right? To destabilize everything all the time. And so I'll be smiling. I see him locked up in handcuffs and on his way to,
there's
due process.
There's a lot going on. He could still face those sedition and treason charges. There's still cases at the Department of Justice federally. There is still cases being looked at in Atlanta area in the state of Georgia. So this might not be the only one. Nobody has come out aside from Donald Trump and said this is going to happen Tuesday. There hasn't been anything broadcast about it. I'm guessing that his lawyers have told him that the indictment is going to come down at some point this week, but nothing is really out there officially yet. There won't be a perp walk because, and I'm glad that there won't be a perp walk. Quite honestly, our former presidents deserve to be protected, and I've been in some of those scrums for cases much smaller than this, and they are a zoo, and there's the potential of snipers. There's just so much opportunity for violence that it really is best if he comes in through a back door or something like that. But boy, if this happens, and DeSantis decides he won't help extradite Trump, that takes us to a whole new level of issues, because if DeSantis won't extradite him, Trump could probably travel to Texas or Iowa or solidly red states. But if he sets foot in one swing state where a Democrat is in charge, he could get arrested, and there he would be handcuffs if Trump Force One touches down in Pennsylvania or Michigan. So if he doesn't surrender, which his attorney says that he will, but if he doesn't, then everything really will be turned on its head.
Yeah, I'm curious. My goodness, I never thought about any of those possibilities. I'm going to digest those in the next 24 to 48 hours. One of the things I'm really curious of what y'all think is his call to the streets. Now, he's saying, I heard the Speaker of the House, McCarthy, say he doesn't really mean what he's saying. What he really means is that everybody should be paying attention to our democracy, and this should pull us in, and we should get involved in voicing up our democracy. And McCarthy says that does not mean violence. That does not mean going into the streets. That doesn't mean anything. What is your projection of what we're going to see? Do you think
he has a following, right?
And Donald Trump are angry and they have weapons.
Right. Donald Trump has a following. There are people that still feel like he should be the current president. And when he's calling them out and asking them to do something, they will obey. They will follow in lockstep with this. And I think that what we're about to see is going to be another moment where we're going to see the band of crazies come out into the streets and demonstrate and do what they want to do. And it's terrifying, right? Because some of these people are armed, right? We saw that during the insurrection.
I asked this question specifically in terms of projection because really January 6th did catch me by surprise. Because when I'm seeing the breaking news and what is happening at the Capitol, it shocked me. Even with all of the stuff that I watched, it shocked me that Americans would take it to this point. So this time, I don't want to be shocked and prepared. Do we expect to see rioting in the streets over what happened?
I just don't know. I just don't think so. At least for this particular one, there's no real place or event to focus yourself on. January 6th was a constitutionally or law mandated, constitutionally appointed procedure. This is going to be in downtown Manhattan, where they do know how to handle big protests and things like this, and they will learn from the effects of January 6th. I just don't know how they'll focus it. I think if if federal charges come down, I think D.C. would be more the place where this will actually come down and really focus itself and put the Capitol into a tinderbox.
Do you agree with that we likely are not going to see?
I don't agree with that. I have like expectations of mediocrity whenever anything is centered around Donald Trump. I have expectations of seeing the worst of America whenever we talk about Donald Trump, and he's calling on them just to come out, and they will do that. I mean, even if you drive by Mar-a-Lago, right, some of his supporters are standing out there with all sorts of crazy signs, still talking about conspiracy theories about whether or not he won the election. They've lost their mind. They will do whatever he says, and if he says go out into the streets and riot, they will.
Are you nervous?
And I'm not nervous.
From your seat?
I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous. I mean, I really believe that that we will have justice, and that we will have protection, and that we will have order from our civil servants and everybody else who's part of law enforcement to protect us from the crazies, right? Like, I really don't think that it will get in a place where our safety is out of hand. But I expect the lowest from them. Yeah.
Keep watching the only television news in the world from our LGBTQ plus community, and stay informed on everything that is important for and about our diverse LGBTQ plus community.